Okay, I'm back, and now I'm going to do an application video on the 2 fingers that I just removed the wraps from. I'm going to do the traditional way that is on the back of the package of wraps and on our website. And then I'm going to show you a way that just has a couple of tricks that I always post in parties anyways to refer back to if you don't memorize them, just for you to see. So here's my setup. I've got my mini heater. You can use a blow dryer, okay? The nice thing is the mini heater has a kickstand, so your hand's free. And I'm gonna get it started because you'll see that you can barely hear it. It's gonna be over here. Okay. Then I've got nail file, scissors to cut my wrap, cuticle pusher / wrap smusher, tweezers to pick up my wrap, and clippers if I want to cut my wrap. Okay. I also have a cuticle pusher that's metal that I'm going to show you that I prefer. You do not have to use this. We sell an application kit that has all the general things up here in front. I'm also going to have nail prep cleanser, which is rubbing alcohol in a fancy bottle with a fancy pump top and an alcohol and a white pad. And then I also have our cuticle remover, and I'm going to show you how that works as well, because I do really like this, especially in the dry months. Okay, so first I have washed my hands with a degreasing soap, like a Dawn or dish soap. It tends to work better than like a bathroom soap, just to remove any oils. Even if you're like, I have really dry skin, we all have some nail oils, and we want these wraps to really adhere for as long as possible. And then I'm going to look at my cuticles, and they're not bad. It's not like I have a ton, it's kind of hard to see, a cuticle growing in. But if you haven't done your nails for a while, you might have some cuticle that's coming up. And we're not talking about the top of your nail, we're talking about on your nail base. If you do this and meet resistance to the base of your nail, then you've got some cuticle to take away. If the wrap adheres to the cuticle instead of the nail itself, it won't last as long and it might curl up. When doing your toes or you're doing little kids, this often tends, they tend to have more cuticles, or what we call an invisible cuticle, where it's almost clear around their nail. It's hard to light, sorry. It's almost clear around their nail, so you almost have to push just to even get resistance and see if they have any. So I'm going to take my cuticle remover, and it has a nice little brush and a top that you just twist, and then it starts to come out of the brush. And I'm going to rub it all around, not just on the base of my nail. Okay. And I would normally wait about 2 minutes. And then what I'm going to do is, with my cuticle pusher, the metal one, but you can use any kind, I'm just going to push on all sides of my nails. So not just the base, but on the sides too. See if you can see this. It's kind of hard to do when you're holding your hand up like this, okay? So this is the motion I'm doing. I'm going to do it a little bit harder. And I'm not coming up here to that stuff. You can kind of clip that if it gets dry, but I'll show you the cuticle remover softens it and removes it. So I do this. I'm going to do it down here where the light's not so good, but... And I do it till I don't need any more resistance on my nail. And you can see, look how much cuticle I pushed up. And I'm not hurting myself. I'm not pushing it under. All I do is take my little thing and I scoop up the extra cuticle. Isn't that gross? And I do my nails every week. So I just wipe it on my paper towel. Okay. And again, just scoop off the excess. Then I'm going to do the next nail. This one isn't as bad, so I won't have anything fun to show you. Okay. So done with that. And now I'm going to prep my nail, and you don't need to go wash your hands again. You can just take your rubbing alcohol or your nail prep cleanser, and you can just clean your nail off this way. And then just let it dry for a second, okay? Okay, so we're done with all those tools. So now I've got just a half sheet of wraps, okay? Because this is the design I decided I wanted to use. Normally, and imagine that this is full. This is what a full sheet of wraps. You can see I just split it in half. And it was easier for me to show you guys this way. And I'm going to size which nail I want to go on. And this, I'm going to have a chart on the party, or a little visual. But this just takes a little bit of practice, and I already know that the third wrap in is the wrap that I wear on my first finger. And so all I'm doing is looking to make sure that if I wrapped this wrap around me, and this wrap's kind of a tint, so you can almost see my nail through it, that this wrap is not going to touch any sides of my finger. It's going to stay on my nail. And if anything, I go smaller and I have a little sliver of a nail showing. Okay, so I'll show you guys that when I'm done. If it's easier, you can take a piece of Scotch tape on your nail, okay, and then you can take a pin and outline your nail. Take the Scotch tape off and put it on the back of your wrap and see which one it fits. And wherever the Scotch tape almost overlaps the wrap is the one you'd want to choose. You don't want to choose the one that's inside the wrap because that means the wrap would be too big. I'll have a visual for that as well. Okay, so I know that for my two fingers that I'm doing, my first finger and my middle finger, I'm going to use the third and fourth wrap, okay? And so I'm actually going to, ahead of time, cut my wraps in half. I can get one half is for one nail, one half is for the other. So a whole sheet gives you 2 manicures and 2 pedicures up here of nail wrap. So I'm prepping ahead of time so I don't have to do any of this work. So my heater's going, you can't even hear it. I've cut my nail with cuticle pusher and I've done the alcohol wipe, and now I've got my wraps ready. Okay, I'm going to use tweezers. I think it's a little bit easier. I'm just going to bend the wrap and pick it up with tweezers. Okay, and I'm going to put it in front of the heat, adhesive side towards the heat, for 3 to 5 seconds. Okay, and that's it. It's nice and flexible now. And I'm actually going to touch the end. I'm not touching the area that's going to go on my nail, okay? But I'm touching the end. And I'm just transferring it to this finger. And I'm going to go to the base of my cuticle, the base of my nail. And look, I didn't like the way I lined it up. So you can actually, don't worry, you can pick it up and do it again. Now you can't do that an hour later. So I'm just going to smooth down the middle. Okay, and then I'm going to smooth the sides down. So from, let me get my little pointer. Okay. Down the middle first, and then I'm going to smooth the sides from the base to the top. Okay. Then I'm going to take my little scissors again, and you can totally use big scissors, it doesn't matter. And I'm just going to cut the excess. I'm not really shaping it, I'm just cutting the excess off. Okay? And then what I would do is I go on to do all the rest of my nails on one hand so that it gives a chance for these to cool. Once they're cool, I'm going to gently, in a downward motion, not up and down and not side to side, take the excess wrap off with my file. And you can see it just uses the nail as the edge to take it off. Okay, and I've got a little bit still there, so I'm not being too harsh with it. This is a pretty rough grit, coarse grit nail file that we have. Okay, so now it looks like this. Now I'm going to take my heater and I'm going to stick it in front for another 3 seconds or so. And then I'm going to take my cuticle pusher and I'm going to push down the middle and along the sides, just to make sure that my wrap is on there nice and good. I have a little edge I don't like. I'm actually going to take my finger, so I have a little edge I don't like. So I'm going to take my fingernail clippers and just kind of get in there and cut the edge off. And that's it. I'm all done. Now, I'm going to point out on this side, I hope you can see this. Well, my cuticles are kind of, my hands are sort of dry until I can put lotion on again. I have a little bit of nail showing here. I'd rather have a wrap too small than a wrap too big on my finger. Okay, thank you. Now I'm going to do the same on this nail, although I'm going to show you two different tricks. So first, I'm going to pick up the wrap again. Adhesive side towards. 1, 2, 3. You can see it curl. Okay. Then I transfer my hands. I'm going to put it in the middle, place it where I want. Okay. And then I'm not going to do anything. I just kind of placed it there. I'm going to go back to the heat this time and heat it for a second. I'm actually going to pull the excess wrap a little bit and then smooth. And sometimes, if people are having trouble with the wrap bubbling on the edges or not sticking at the tips, that tip right there that I just did really helps. Okay, now I'm going to cut the excess. And again, I'd let this cool a little bit longer. And instead of filing, this is what I would do with my toes, or this is what I would do with little kids. I'm actually just going to cut the wrap with a little bit of nail. And now I have a sealed edge. Okay, and I don't have to do any filing. So now my nails are a little bit shorter than what I wear, but that's it, okay? Now, after you're done doing all that, you can immediately go wash your hands if you want. You can put on some lotion, which is what I like to do because I have really dry hands in this winter. And the only thing we recommend is that you don't go immediately and wash dishes, take a shower, go swimming. Don't immerse your hands for a long time in water for like the first hour, just to make sure that everything is set and nothing can get under there. And then after that, you're good to go for as long as you want and do whatever you want for 10 to 14, even longer days. Okay? Thank you.